Hey guys, in this video I wanted to compare the Beyerdynamic DT990 250 ohm pros to what I've been using the past week, and that is the SIMGOT EM6L, these Chi-Fi earbuds. I wanted to discuss how these sound compared to these headphones that I've been using for a long time. I have 3 pairs of these. I swear by them. But, I have to admit, after having used these for a week, or whatever, a few days at least, and then going back to these headphones, the Chi-Fi SIMGOT EM6Ls, actually sound a hell of a lot better. For one, they isolate the sound, so you don't hear a lot of ambient noise. They have much deeper, stronger bass, sub-bass extension. The treble is a lot smoother, and they just sound basically perfect. You know, there's like 1 or 2 things I could nitpick, but I'm not even going to bring it up. Because I think it's not that big of a deal. Like the Harman Target scoops the ear gain at like 2.8K, but I'm so used to it being scooped at 3K that I notice it. And I think around 4.8K, these may the SIMGOT may be a little bit more prominent than they should be, but just by such a minute amount, it doesn't even really matter. And I kind of said that about the Beyerdynamic DT990s, that I admit these have like a 6 kilohertz treble spike, but so do a lot of other headphones like the Sennheiser HD800S, the Beyerdynamic DT880s. You know, a lot of headphones have this huge 6 kilohertz peak. And then there's like a treble peak that gives it, so this does, I have to admit, when I switched back to the Beyerdynamic DT990s, the lack of bass, the lack of deep bass was immediately noticeable. It's not the end of the world. I actually do like the fact that these are open back, so that I can hear my surroundings plain as day. You know, a lot of times when I use the SIMGOT, you know, if somebody's talking to me, I have to say, you know, say that again, I can't hear you. So, you know, these, you know, it's completely transparent. I can hear the outside world, so I don't have to ask somebody to, you know, repeat themselves. These are a lot easier to put on. You know, it takes me a millisecond to put these on. Again, these are extremely transparent, but there is a 6K peak. There is like another high frequency treble peak that makes things sound a bit, you know, sharp, you know, in the sibilants. And we can, you know, discuss that real quick, because I don't think I really talk about it enough. But, you know, again, these DT990s, you know, after you use them for quite a long time, they smooth out and they measure extremely smooth throughout the response. You know, that's a really good measurement. That's like the smoothest headphone you will ever find in the world, with such a bright, clear, open treble. But it's not the end of the world. So I kind of said, you know, these characteristics are not the end of the world. But I have to admit, you know, I do hear this 6K peak, and I do hear this peak up there. I do hear, and probably this thing too. So I do hear these, you know, 3 treble shards. That's how the best way I can describe them is treble spikes, treble shards. They are there. They are audible when I put these on. But at the end of the day, you know, the longer you use them, the more the pads compress and wear down, the smoother it's going to get in the treble. And again, you'll be hard pressed to find a headphone that retains the treble information as well as this. You know, there is other headphones out there, but I don't think they, you know, are as good as these. Again, could you use other headphones? Yeah. If these treble spikes really do bother you, you know, you can use, if you're extremely treble sensitive, you know, you can use something else. But I'm saying that I admit that those 3 spikes are still audible on these headphones, and, you know, I've had the pads on this for I don't know how long, probably less than 6 months, you know, maybe, actually probably a little bit long. I haven't been using these headphones that frequently. Anyway, I am known to replace the pad. These headphones I still think are the best headphones in the world. But I tend to, you know, I tend to show the harsh treble with the fresh ear pads, but, you know, by default I always show the smooth worn pads graph where the treble is a lot smoother. But, you know, most of you are going to be hearing quite a bit of this, you know, when you buy these headphones for a long time, if not forever. And people have criticized, you know, saying that, you know, you know, you're not going to get this unless you know, use them for years, and, you know, the pads are completely worn out and dirty and you need to exchange them anyway. But at the end of the day, I think this is the best you're going to get if you're treble sensitive to these spikes. Of course, there's other headphones out there. I don't think they sound as good. I don't think they retain the frequency response as well as these, you know. But, you know, back to the SIMGOT. Back to the SIMGOT. The SIMGOT have the same frequency response as the DT990s, but the treble is smooth out of the box and stays smooth out of the box, and it has a deeper bass extension, you know. So, you know, we can look, you know, at the SIMGOT now. You know, we can pull up the SIMGOT frequency. You know, I already, you know, talked about this, that the SIMGOT are, you know, they have some advantages over the DT990s. You know, so we can, I mean, it's true. It's true, the SIMGOT, you know, again, the DT990s are capable of measuring as good as the SIMGOT. I mean, they are capable, you know, of measuring just as smooth in the treble. You know, the DT990s are capable of that smoothness, and no other headphone is. It's just, you know, you need the pads to compress and, you know, act as a dampener to those treble shards to basically filter that out. But, you know, when we look at the SIMGOT out of the box, you know, you're getting that deeper bass extension. You know, you're getting that deeper bass extension. You're not getting a, you know, you're not getting a roll-off. You know, you're not getting this roll-off here. You're getting the full extension. You're not getting a roll-off, you know. So the SIMGOT, you know, don't have that problem. You know, the SIMGOT have a smooth treble out of the box, you know. So, you know, when I yeah, I'm just saying that, yeah, IEMs in earbuds have come a long way, and this is a superior product to the DT990s. And I think, you know, again, these just came out of nowhere, the SIMGOT. They're made by some Chi-Fi company. I don't think a lot of people are going to appreciate these earbuds and they're going to glaze over it as just one of many earbuds that are out there, and they're not going to realize just how perfect these things actually are. And again, if you prefer a darker treble, if you prefer less bass, you know, if you prefer analytical bass instead of balance based, like if you want zero bass boost, you know, you want diffuse level thin bass, you know, or you want like a mud cut, you know, people could argue maybe these are too muddy at 200 hertz and they want a mud cut, like a Harman mud cut or something. You know, again, people have different tastes, but this is like, you know, as close as they're going to get to perfect. They could slightly get a little bit more perfect, but you know, these are just, you know, again, beggars can't be choosers. I mean, this is the best we're going to get. Okay, this is the best that's out there, and I gotta admit those treble spikes are a shame. Maybe you can dampen these headphones and try to, you know, get that effect without having worn pads. You know, more power to you. But at the end of the day, I think you can get used to the treble spikes on this. You know, let the pads wear in, you know, and you'll live, you know. You'll get a very transparent sound with some treble shards. This thing, the SimGot are crazy good. And again, you know, there's a lot of audio equipment out there. If you want some Sennheiser HD650s that are really dark and warm and they don't have that powerful of a bass, you know, you can get them. You know, if you want, I prefer, again, I have these exceptionally bright Neumann TL103 microphones. Some people think they're too sibilant, they're too bright, and you know, there's the SM7B for you. You know, there's, you know, you could complain that the shit picks up too much background noise. You know, there's a lot of options out there that work. You know, you don't have to have perfect audio equipment, and chasing perfection at the end of the day, you know, it's very time consuming and you'll only get so close, and some people will say, why even bother at that point? But I really appreciate every minuscule improvement I can get. And I just wanted to make this video to admit that, you know, the treble on the DT990s, you know, out of the box and for many, many months is piercing and harsh, but the overall sound is better than what you're going to get from any other headphone. And again, they do have theoretically and realistically the best response on the market after the pads wear in. But I over glamorize them, I think, because again, I can clearly hear the peaks on this and the lack of deep bass and the isolation on the SimGot, so that you can really focus on what you're listening to, is actually a benefit, which is always why people use closed back headphones. A lot of people actually really care about, you know, cutting out background noise and isolating the sound. Lately, I've been looking to buy dynamic microphones, just to, you know, record audio without, you know, the ceiling fan and the computer and the air conditioner being so apparent in my recordings all the time, because I'm too lazy to turn all this stuff off and treat my room currently. You know, sometimes isolation, you know, is important, and open backs and super sensitive condensers and bright and stuff. You know, some people are treble sensitive. Some people are easily distracted by the background noise and they think it ruins the audio. I do too, to be honest with you. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I'll see you guys later.